Disturbed's mascot was named by a little kid.
We've got a couple more facts for you about the band Disturbed. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Metal Energy Media. For those here for the first time, we make videos about metal, energy drinks, plus other content.
If you feel like any of those things, go and subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and leave a like.
Let's crack one open and get into it. In this video, we're going to share 10 facts about Disturbed you probably didn't know, because I didn't know most of these and I've been a fan my entire life. So our first fact is, before Disturbed there was Brawl. So in 1994, Dan, Mike, Fuzz, and Eric were known as the band Brawl. Dan Donegan said the first name they wanted for their band was Crawl, but due to another band owning that name, they changed it to something similar that ended up being Brawl, which is way less cool than Crawl and Disturbed, in my opinion.
Number 2, the bassist of Brawl and Disturbed. So originally, Fuzz was the original bassist of Disturbed from 1994 until 2003. After the band released their second album, Believe, in 2002. His full name was actually Steve Kamara, if you didn't know. I always thought Fuzz quit the band, but it turns out that Dan actually fired him from the band due to musical differences between himself and the new lead singer, David German. John Moyer took over shortly after, and has been the band's bassist ever since. But Fuzz hasn't been in any music groups since Disturbed, and he's now living in Chicago with his wife and kids.
So sad that he just stopped music right then.
Yeah, he's a great bassist.
He is. Alright, number 3, the original singer of Brawl. So Eric Awalt was the original lead singer of Brawl from 1994 to 1996. The band recorded demo tapes to show off their music, but soon after Eric decided to leave the band. This led to the other bandmates posting an ad for a vocalist that would give them one of the most well-known singers in rock and metal history today, David Draymond.
Number 4, David is the one who named Disturbed. So he renamed the band Disturbed after he joined in 1996. He said he had the idea of this band name for a long time, but he never had a group he saw fit. He said the way he viewed the world with all the mayhem going on disturbed him. So he told this to the world by naming the band Disturbed. Funny enough, there's also a story that went around about the origin of the band name Disturbed. It stated that the band was eating at an Indian restaurant discussing potential band names. When the bass player at the time, Fuzz, went to the restroom and he returned, he stated that the food disturbed his bowels. The members heard this and went with the name, which is not true.
That's so funny. I read that and I laughed my butt off. I think that was so funny. And real quick before we go on to number 5, if you like this video, then drop a like, and if you like content like this, then subscribe and check out our other videos. The guy origin. So early on in Disturbed's career, they needed a mascot. When David met with an artist friend, he asked David what he wanted the mascot to be. David German then made a face that he often made on stage whenever they did shows, and the artist sketched out his face in a very minimalistic fashion to show only the details of his expression. It took multiple versions until they found one that was a perfect fit. After they had their mascot, Mike, the drummer's nephew, had seen him. He was afraid of the mascot and always called him the guy, and the name stuck. So, a little kid named Disturbed's mascot.
Number 6, the Disturbed logo. So the Disturbed logo, which is seen in several album covers, most notably the Believe album, contains 4 religious symbols: the Jewish Star of David, the Christian cross, the Wiccan star, and the Islamic crescent moon. This logo is made to represent unity in a world so divided.
A very divided world we are. So this next one has to do with Down with the Sickness, which is probably the biggest song that Disturbed has, with millions upon millions of views, and what pretty much made them famous. So in the studio version of Down with the Sickness, David Draymond wrote one of the biggest and most memorable vocal lines in metal history. What sounds like a boy being abused by his mother, then finally standing up to her, has a deeper meaning to it. The mother in these lines represents Mother Society, and how she abuses her children, specifically for being different or not being the way she thinks they should be. With the abuse, we get angry and fight back for revenge. David states in the song, quote, "Why can't you just leave here and die?" close quote, telling us he wants her to be killed or kill her. So being down with the sickness means accepting everyone for who they are, no matter how anyone else sees them or treats them. My question is, are you down with the sickness?
Number 8, we've got our musical inspirations. So every musician has different influences. Sometimes they're unexpected and sometimes they make sense. Disturbed has many and each member also has many, but these are their biggest inspirations. Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Metallica, Pantera, Iron Maiden, Queensryche, and Soundgarden. What are your guys' inspirations? Let us know down in the comments.
Alright, and now we have Disturbed covers. So almost every Disturbed cover I've ever heard I thought was the original, with the exception of a couple because of how they make each song sound like their own. So these are the covers that they have done, and let me know if you knew that these were covers, and let me know if you've heard them before. So the first one is Shout 2000 by Tears for Fears, Land of Confusion by Genesis, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For by U2, surprising, Living After Midnight, Judas Priest, not surprising, Midlife Crisis by Faith No More, The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel, probably their most famous, and If I Ever Lose My Faith in You by Sting, which is their most recent one.
Alright. And finally at number 10, we've got Glass Shatters. So, did you know Disturbed had a song called Glass Shatters? Have you heard it? The song wasn't on any Disturbed album. Not an EP, it was nothing. The song was actually on an album made for WWF Wrestling, for theme songs for members. This album had Disturbed and over 10 other artists on the album, all having one song each.
Alright, and here we have a bonus for you, 11. So in 2011, after The Lost Children was released, the band decided to take a small break, well remember this, and this gave them time and the freedom to start different projects that they wanted to do. So David made Device and even did a tour with them. Dan and Mike made Fight or Flight, and John actually joined a band, Adrenaline Moms.
I did not know that.
Well, me neither until I looked it up. Yeah, did you guys know these Disturbed facts? Let us know in the comments. If you like videos like this, let us know so we can do more in the future. And check out the other content on our channel.
Alright, we'll see you guys.
Next.